Good evening. Welcome back to another edition of Live at 5. I'm Lance Jenkins.
And I'm Kelsey Rushing.
Now that we've got your attention, let's get right to it. Richmond Raiders football playing the Fighting Scots of Scotland High School this upcoming Friday night in what will be the conference championship game for the varsity football teams. Pre-sale tickets are going on right now. You know it's going to be packed. You can get your tickets from Family Pharmacy, Medical Center Pharmacy, and Mabry's Pharmacy. Get them today before they sell out. And folks, Athletes of the Week coming up tonight. Malik Standback and Emily Fall. We're going to be interviewing them in studio with Cal Pillar. Lots going on tonight.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have something going on every night.
That's true. We're every night of the week, Monday through Friday. So let's get right to it, folks, for your midweek edition of Live at 5. Your top story starts right now. First Health Moore Regional Hospital Richmond has earned an A grade on Leapfrog Hospital safety grades. The grades were announced Tuesday by the Leapfrog Group, a nonprofit organization committed to driving quality, safety, and transparency in the U.S. healthcare system. The designation marks the second A rating for Moore Regional Hospital Richmond, and only 832 hospitals received the A ranking, positioning the campus among the safest hospitals in the United States. To see Moore Regional's full grade and to access consumer-friendly patient tips for staying safe in the hospital, visit hospitalsafetygrade.org.
The campus of Richmond Community College was transformed Tuesday night into a Halloween wonderland. From 5 to 8 p.m., the Mary Ellen Kinley Trail at Richmond Community College became trick-or-treat on the trail. This kid-friendly event, according to Wiley Bell, Director of Marketing and Communications at Richmond Community College, was organized for the members of the President's Club of Richmond Community College and their families. Dr. Hal Schuler, Associate Vice President of Development, said that turnout for the first event of this kind for Richmond Community College lived up to and exceeded expectations. The Downtown Rockingham Corporation came together Tuesday night to create a trick-or-treating experience aimed at providing children a safe environment to enjoy Halloween and to bring people to downtown Rockingham businesses, and the turnout was positively overwhelming. Robin Roberts of Hudson Brothers Deli said, quote, "I knew there would be a crowd, but had no idea it would be such a large crowd," end quote. She explained that by 5:30 p.m. they had already made 2 candy runs, and they were not the only ones.
A 29-year-old New Jersey resident drove a truck down a bike path in Manhattan yesterday, killing 8 people and injuring 13 others. A note was found in the truck indicating the attack was for ISIS. And Congressman Robert Pittenger of the 9th District of North Carolina issued this statement yesterday evening following the attack. Quote, "Today's terrorist attack was a manifestation of pure evil and bears a disturbing resemblance to recent lone wolf attacks in Europe. We must give law enforcement adequate data to know who is in communication with radical terrorists. We must also work with our allies to cut off the money required to inspire, coordinate, and carry out these attacks," end quote. Congressman Robert Pittenger is chairman of the Congressional Task Force on Terrorism and Unconventional Warfare. Our thought and prayers are with those who continue to heal from injuries and with the families of those who have passed in this terrible tragedy.
Former attorney, community college instructor, grant writer, and business owner Gypsy Murdaugh will lead a free 2-part seminar at Richmond Community College to teach people how to seek and procure funding for a nonprofit organization. The seminar's Grant Writing Part 1 will be held Tuesday, November 7th, and Grant Writing Part 2 will be Thursday, November 9th. Free and open to the public, both seminars will be held from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Auditorium on the college's main campus in Hamlet. The seminar is sponsored by the Small Business Center of Richmond Community College. And we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. At Richmond Community College, we can prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
practices. You guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
Welcome back to Live at 5. The junior varsity Raiders football team has been able to stay undefeated throughout a tough non-conference and Sandhills Athletic Conference schedule. But now on the horizon is what could be the biggest game of the year, facing Scotland County High School. The Raiders will be hosting the Fighting Scots on Thursday after dismantling 71st High School 44-8 last week. Kickoff is set for this Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. And folks, coming up next, Richmond Observer managing editor Kyle Pillar is in studio for exclusive interviews with the male and female official Richmond County Athletes of the Week. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm Kelly. I worked at Champion 4 for 2 years.
6 years.
3 years.
1 year.
I've been at Champion Fort for 13 years.
1 whole year.
15 years. I'm Jamie and I've been at Champion Ford for 12 years.
I've been here 8 years.
Champion prices, champion service, champion experience.
Get treated like a champion today at Champion Ford. Just down the road from High Prices, championfordlincoln.com.
We are Champion Ford.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
And welcome back into tonight's edition of Live at 5. I'm managing editor Kyle Pillar. Folks, it's Wednesday, so it's time to introduce to you our official Richmond County Athletes of the Week presented by the Richmond Observer. If you haven't already, I encourage you to please check out our featured articles on our website, our mobile app, or our Facebook page. Each article is a full-length feature that goes behind the scenes of our official athletes' lives and can be read only with the Richmond Observer. Tonight we've got a Friday Night Lights edition as 2 juniors, one being a cheerleader and the other a wide receiver, are in studio for an exclusive sit-down interview. But up first is our official female athlete of the week. As described in my article as having a bubbly personality, our female nominee is a familiar face on the sidelines on Fridays. When she's not leading cheer, she's working hard at competitive dance or reading classic novels. As there are no stats in cheerleading, our guest was nominated by head coach Meredith Hood for having great morals and values, work ethic, and being a great role model to her peers. And now joining the RO exclusively in studio on Live at 5 is Emily Faw. Emily, welcome. How are you tonight?
Better than I deserve. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So again, Emily Faw is a Richmond cheerleader. She's a junior, 3rd year on varsity.
Yes, sir.
So let's just jump right into cheerleading. So tell us what it's like Friday nights down there on the sidelines, because a lot of people are there to watch the football game, but you guys are there to pump up the crowd. So what's it like to be a Richmond cheerleader?
There's really nothing like going out there on Friday nights and just getting to look up in the stands and seeing all the people there. Sure. Even though they're not watching you, you know that to some extent they're going to rely on you, especially if your team's down or there was just a play that didn't go exactly how we wanted it to. You can't show your reactions on your face. You still have to, yay, go Raiders! And that's just like something that I think all of us are pretty good at. We're pretty good at masking our emotions and just being happy all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's just something that I think that people overlook.
So what's your favorite part?
The bus rides on away games.
Oh, really?
Yes, because our whole team, we've got a really good camaraderie this year. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to just to talk to everybody, hang out. Like nobody, we don't have a lot of animosity, and I really like that. I like how it's more of a family, and we can come to practice and enjoy ourselves and have fun. Still work hard, but still a good experience.
Now, your head coach, Meredith Hood, she doesn't do captains, right? She doesn't choose captains.
Yes.
But she did mention you, and there are a couple other girls that she mentioned as kind of being leaders on the team. And so what's it mean to you to be a leader for the cheerleading team? And like you said, you told me the other day, you've been doing this for a couple of years, so now it's your turn to lead it. So what's it like for you to be the leader?
There's a huge difference from just sitting by, and like in 9th grade, we kind of sat there and we did as we were told. Not as we were told, they didn't like yell at us or anything, but we followed their lead. And this year, all the young people were like looking up to us to lead them. So there's a certain level of expectation you have to put on yourself, especially like in practices or at games. You sort of have to rein everybody in, just think, okay, we're here for a job, let's show everybody what this job is.
Sure.
And in order to be a leader, I feel that like the hardest part for me is not coming across as overbearing, because I remember in 9th grade how terrified I was, and I just want there to be a level of like not just happiness, but like everybody can say what they want to say without a fear of worrying what other people are going to think about it. So I think that's what we really tried to establish the most, the other girls that lead as well as I have.
Big game Friday. You excited for it?
I'm excited. Scotland's always the most fun game. We go out there, and even if we win or lose, the crowd's the most involved. There's the most people. It's just a fun game.
Absolutely. Raiders on the road Friday night at Scotland County. We'll be previewing that later on this week through articles with the Richmond Observer, so stay tuned for that. So Emily, let's talk about the cheer season too. You know, a lot of folks don't know that you guys start in May with tryouts, and then you run through March. So kind of just tell us about your season. I know you guys go to UNC for cheer camp, so kind of tell the folks at home about that.
So we try out in May, and there's like the first week of May. We find out the team that Saturday, and then we start practices in June, the week after graduation. We practice for a couple, maybe like 6 weeks, and then we usually head off to UNC camp, where we go and we learn stuff from the staff called UCA.
Okay.
And what they do is they teach us new stunts and skills that we can put in routines or do at games, and we just go home after that and we just learn and master them. At UNC camp, what they do is they give out an award. It's called All-American. And what they do.
And you've won it twice, correct?
Yes, sir. We got it in 10th grade and 11th grade.
Okay.
The past 2 summers. So what it means is they pick the girls from each team that they feel have a strong leadership and a good energy about them, that they're always willing to do, just an all-around good teammate. They're always willing to do what you ask them to do. Sure. They're not very, they never really show an attitude, because a lot of times when you're in a room with 20 girls working on something and it's not going exactly how you want it to, you get some attitude. So.
Sure. Well, that's certainly commendable that you've been named to those teams. And you also got to cheer at the Citrus Bowl pregame show, correct?
Yes, sir. Last year, after All-American, one of my friends, Caitlin Skipper, and I went down to Florida with her family over New Year's, and that's, if you got chosen for All-American last year, that's what you did. Cool. You went down to Florida, and we practiced for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then on that Saturday we went out and cheered pregame at the Citrus Bowl, and that was just a really incredible experience.
Very cool. Yeah, college football, bowl games are always big that time of year. So Emily, let's kind of jump then into academics. You're in the AP cluster, you're in dual enrollment. From my understanding, you like some classes that aren't the most popular amongst high school students. So what are your what's your favorite class?
Public speaking.
And you take that at RCC, correct?
Yes, sir. I just left it.
Yeah. So she just came in studio, and you gave a speech today, right?
Yes, sir. I did.
So tell us what about public speaking you like. You're very personable. I've known you personally for a couple of years now, and you're very bubbly, very vivacious. So what about public speaking classes do you like?
I've always liked to talk in front of people. I like to talk in general. Like when people say, who wants to share, I've never hesitated to say I will. Like that's just something I think I got from my mom. And so in public speaking, we're learning how to speak effectively. And I've always been able to just like not have a fear about it.
Right.
But now we're learning how to speak slower and controlled and use the different like diction and syntax that conveys your message like in a better way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really like that.
Yeah, and so again, your dual enrollment. What do you think about the dual enrollment program?
I think it's a really good thing they've got going. In order for it helps you get a jump start in college. Like you can go ahead and get some of the classes that are sometimes very hard and very difficult in college. You can take them in high school, get them out the way. Especially like if you're majoring in math and you're not a fan of English, you can go take English. Go ahead and take your Englishes that are required for college and just have. I think that's. And they give you the same GPA points now.
Cool.
So it helps your GPA along with giving you college credit. So
absolutely. And Emily is tied for second in her class of 2019, right?
Gosh.
Yeah, it's coming up. So talk too about some of the things that you're involved with at school. I know that you're in Beta Club. I know you're interested in Senate.
So I'm in Beta Club, and I want to run for Senate at the end of the year. It's for seniors. So elections, I think, are in April or May, and so you'll run, and like the first thing you do is you like set up and take down proms, so it's right around the time of that.
Right.
And then I'm also in Fellowship of Christian Students, and then I'm hoping to later be inducted in the National Honor Society, which they do second semester. So
Yeah. Always
like,
busy.
try always.
Yeah, always, right. It keeps you out of trouble, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So let's transition then into what you like to do outside of school. You're a dancer,
Yes, sir.
and you've been dancing, I believe, you told me since 4th grade.
Yes, sir.
So just kind of walk us through your progression as a dancer. What do you like about it? Where do you dance?
So I started dancing in 4th grade because my mom was a dancer growing up, and I really liked it, and me and my sister both did. We both were just drawn to it. And then as the years have gone on, we've just progressed. We started out with a lady named Miss Renee Ward, who still teaches us ballet at our new studio. And then when she retired, we have a new teacher. Her name's Holly Littlefield. She's amazing. Her studio's in downtown. We started out in Liberty Place, actually, and then we've moved around a couple times. But she's just a really good woman with strong faith and strong values.
Sure.
And she teaches us not only how to dance, but just how to be just better people.
Sure.
And we all really look up to her. So.
Yeah, what are your favorite types of dancing?
My favorite type is Broadway, which is very like energetic, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And I like to, a lot of times in other dances, sometimes a big part of dance is how you emote. And in Broadway, you can always have a happy emotion,
Sure.
or really just change it up a lot. And I really like that. So.
Yeah, well, I have 2 left feet, and my wife.
Your wife can dance.
Yes, my wife can dance. We did the Dancing with the Stars, and I did that for her. But I certainly have 2 left feet, so I definitely tip my hat to you for being able to dance so well. So let's talk about your interesting fact, which is something that we always ask our athletes of the week to do. And again, it comes back to kind of speech or English class. So what is your interesting fact, and why do you do that?
My interesting fact is that I like to read, and not only do I like to read, but I like to read older books. Like my favorite author, her name is Jane Austen. She wrote some classic books that most people hate, Pride and Prejudice.
Right.
A bunch of people don't like it, but that's not the one I like. I like a book called Sense and Sensibility.
Sure.
And we actually just in public speaking today, I gave my speech on her, and I just think she's really influential, not only in writing, but just in general. She has a quote, and it says, "Think only of the past as its remembrance gives you pleasure," and I just think that can just go out to everybody.
Absolutely.
Not just writers.
And so in that book, there are 2 characters, and they're both sisters. And you when we talked the other day, you compared those 2 characters to your sister and yourself, younger sister Macy. And so you chose Macy and one other person as your mentor this week. And again, mentors are somebody that you look up to, whether they're older, they're younger. So tell us about Macy first, and then your other mentor.
Okay, Macy's my little sister. She's 14. She dances with me this year. She's actually cheering with me. And we are complete, total opposites. Like, I don't mind talking. She is very shy.
Right.
But once you get to know her, she's just an amazing person. Like, she knows how to push my buttons. Like, she's my sister. We fight. But she always knows how to rein me in, and she gives me advice when I need it the most. And she's the one person I know I can tell anything to.
Sure.
And she's not going to judge me for it. She'll always know what to say to make it better. And even if she doesn't know what to say, she can just make me laugh or something to take my mind off of it. And I just really love that about her.
Sure.
And then my other mentor I said this week was my mom. My mom is a very, very, very strong woman. I really just look up to her. Even when she faces anything, she always reminds us that her faith is what keeps her grounded. Her faith is what gets her through it. Right. And I just admire that so much. And I'll never be able to say thank you enough for everything that she's done for me and my brother and sister. So.
Very, very cool. Everybody has a mentor, and that's very cool that both of you chose your mom and also a younger sibling. Not many people would do that. So to round out our interview with Emily tonight, we're going to talk about some school aspirations. Application time is just around the corner for you next year. So kind of tell us what you're interested in studying, and I know you're kind of keeping your options open.
Yes, sir. Well, I didn't tell you this when we talked, but a couple weeks ago, me and one of my friends, we took this really cool personality test, and it showed you like a bunch of different job opportunities. And I've been toying with the idea of engineering for a while now.
Right.
And that was the first one, so I feel like that's what I'm probably leaning towards.
Okay.
And so I'd always like to go to Chapel Hill. I think it's a great school. It's got a beautiful campus.
Your family's Tar Heel fans,
Oh, gosh, yes. Yeah. My daddy bleeds Tar Heel blue.
And
then NC State's got a great engineering school, too. And then a family friend of ours, his name's Scott Brewer, Scott and Tanya, their son goes to Campbell now. Okay. And both of them went, and they've got a really cool engineering program that they're starting up or it's new and they're starting to get it going.
Sure.
And the way they were explaining it sounded really cool. So I'm just going to have to go on some tours and see what I like the most.
So are you thinking about cheering or dancing in college?
Yes, sir. Either probably dance or probably dance depending on where I go. Because you can either dance on like a team or you can dance in like a company that's associated with the school.
Right.
And for cheer, there's only one cheer team, and so it just honestly is going to depend on the size of the school and the load of classes I have as well.
Well, I wish you luck in that. And folks, I encourage you, it is the biggest game of the season. It comes down to an SEC title as Richmond will travel to Scotland this Friday night, 7:30 kickoff. And of course, you'll see Emily on the sidelines cheering on the Raiders. Emily, thanks so much for coming down tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Up next, folks, our official Richmond County Male Athlete of the Week will be joining us in studio. So stick around to find out who he is, only on Live at 5.
Family Pharmacy has been serving Richmond County since April 2007, and we have enjoyed getting to know our customers since then. We take our jobs very seriously, and will do whatever we can to make sure you have what you need. Come visit us on Fayetteville Road in Rockingham, and we will treat you like family.
And welcome back into the official Richmond County Athlete of the Week segment. Joining us just before the break was Emily Faw of the Richmond cheer team, and in studio now is a young man who is coming off his biggest game of the season. He's a junior wide receiver who's earned the right to be called Richmond's #1 wideout, as he's caught 27 passes this season for 597 yards. He's also averaging over 22 yards per catch. On Friday night against 71st High School, he caught 5 passes for 147 yards, including 2 catches on the come-from-behind game-winning drive. His second catch went for an 86-yard score, which ultimately led Richmond to victory. And if you were at Raider Stadium last Friday night, you know that I'm talking about Malik Stanback. Malik, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Malik, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about that 86-yard touchdown pass that ultimately led Richmond to victory Friday night against 71st. So just kind of walk the folks at home through that big play and the game in general.
Well, it was a big night. It was actually senior night. And It was a home game, so for them to turn up, they felt like they had to mention senior night, and that's what we did. And we got the dub. My teammates helped me out very well. We practiced hard all through the sun, through the cold, or weather switching up on us, but we fought regardless.
Yeah, so kind of just, I mean, when you beat that cornerback on the left sideline, I mean, obviously Coach Till has talked about your speed, and that's something that you're able to do, and you did it in the play previous with the curl route. You came back, and then on that next play, when you burst by the cornerback, and that ball was coming into your hands, what were you thinking about?
I had to catch it. I had to. We worked too hard to lose that game, and it was a tough game. It was a very tough game. It was a good team.
Yeah, it was back and forth kind of all night. You guys were up at halftime, then you kind of let the lead in the third quarter, saw 3 lead changes in a 4.5-minute span. And so, you know, obviously your play led you guys to victory, and that also put you and the Raiders in the second place in the Sandhills Athletic Conference. So kind of talk about your season so far. It was kind of turbulent in the beginning, up and down, you know, with games against Butler, and you had big wins against Reagan. So just kind of explain what the season's been like for you and kind of how you progressed as a wide receiver.
Well, the team, like this team that we got this year, like if we start the game off good, then we should finish good. But like if we start off bad, then like the teams think like the game is over already. But I try to tell them like keep their head up, the game not over yet. And that's what Coach Taylor and the coaches try to tell them too. And lately we've been doing that, and we've been succeeding and winning. Yeah.
So what's working well for you? I mean, you had 5 receptions on Friday night, had 147 yards. You're averaging roughly 65 yards a game, over 20 yards per catch. So what is working well for Malik this year?
My confidence, man. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I was a junior sophomore last year, and I didn't get a lot of balls coming towards me.
Right.
I felt like I need to step up my game, so I work harder. After practice, I'll stay after and work some routes with my quarterback. So that's what helped me out.
Yeah, so talk about Caleb Hood. He's a freshman, and obviously he's had a standout year this year. So what is your connection? What's your relationship like with him on the field?
Me and him, like, we basically grew up together. He like my little brother. We played AU together.
Okay.
We even played basketball together. He's a great athlete.
Okay, good. And of course, you know, if it wasn't for that chemistry, you know, that play might not have happened Friday night. Again, that 86-yard touchdown, which ultimately led you past the Falcons. So let's transition from the Falcons to the Fighting Scots. And you know, it's rivalry week. Excuse me. As you guys are going to go on the road down to Scotland. So just kind of tell folks at home what you're doing to prepare. What are the Raiders doing to prepare, and kind of what your expectations are?
Well, we watch film every day, and everybody keep talking about Zeus or Zamir, and like to me, like that's just a name. Like we really don't care who he is. Like we're gonna go out there and have fun. That's what I tell my teammates every day. Go out there and have fun. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, and head coach Brian Till also said that, you know, and you said this the other day in our interview for the article, that you don't care about stats. You know, all those numbers that I ran off in our interview, you were like, I don't care about those, and that's really cool to hear because, you know, you're focused on the game, you're focused on winning. So what's Richmond have to do Friday to win?
They gotta have that Raider spirit, man. They gotta believe that we're gonna be out there and be successful.
Absolutely. So, folks, if you aren't doing anything Friday night, and if you are doing something, you should reconsider. You should head down to Laurinburg and catch the Raiders in action, as it is their season finale and a chance for an SAC title. It's on the line as they'll face Scotland High School. So, again, 7:30 kickoff. Malik will be out there. But Malik, let's just transition then into Malik, the student. So, you're a junior at Richmond. You're an AB honor roll student. So just kind of tell folks at home some of the classes that you're enrolled in and things that you like to do at school.
I got all honor classes. I got Math 3 honors. I got American History 1 honors, Chemistry honors.
And you're in an advanced manufacturing, correct?
Yes, sir.
So kind of staying with that, the other day you told me that was your favorite class, that and math. So what about math and the advanced manufacturing class do you like?
Well, I'm gonna be my cluster. I'm gonna be a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
That's what I want to be. And, it got a lot to do with math, and you know, math to me, like I get it, like just like that. Like I like to work.
Sure.
And then mechanical engineer, I like working hands-on. So.
Absolutely. And so, you know, in wanting to be a mechanical engineer, do you have a school in mind? Because it is kind of coming up.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to NC State.
Absolutely, and NC State has one of the best engineering programs in the country. So. What about some of the other sports that you play at Richmond? Because I know that you're a 3-sport athlete.
Yes, I also play basketball and run track.
Okay, so what about basketball? You've been a member of the junior varsity team the last 2 years. So what are your expectations this year?
I'm gonna be playing varsity this year, and like football, we got to have that Raider magic.
Sure.
And,
and you're a small forward, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then in the spring, you I think participate in 4 events with the track team. What are they?
4x1, 4x2, the 100 and 200.
Right. And you're the anchor for the 4x2?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. So 3-sport athlete, always on the go, always, I guess, training, right? And that kind of leads us into Malik's hobbies, because one of the things that you told me the other day that you have, or that you do after practice or when you go home, is working out. So tell us why you work out and why you enjoy it.
I work out because when I was going into high school, I wasn't wearing a lot. I was real skinny, and I was seeing a bunch of people bigger than me. So I was like, I want to work. I want to be bigger. So that's what pushed me to work harder.
Sure, and it obviously, I mean, I'm not going to ask you to show your bicep, but I certainly don't have biceps as big as Malik, and so of course that makes you a better product on the field. And you did say that you could bench more than Coach Till the other day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have an exclusive video of that someday as well. So let's transition then, Malik, into your interesting fact. We always ask our athletes of the week to say something, tell the folks at home something that they may not know about you. So what's yours?
I go home, I watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and folks, it's kind of interesting because the theme this year we've had, I think, 4 other Richmond Raider football players in here, and almost every single one of them has watched some sort of Japanese cartoon or one was SpongeBob, the others were like a Japanese anime, and so I find that very interesting. So what about the show? Again, it's an old cartoon too. It's not like they make new episodes. So what about it attracts you?
I just been watching it since I was young, like how they got power and stuff.
Yeah, are you a Goku guy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too. Last thing before we wrap up tonight, we always ask our athletes to talk about their mentors, whether it's a parent, a coach, a friend, a family member who has inspired you or helped you along your way, and yours happens to fall into the world of football. So who is your mentor and why is he your mentor?
I got Coach Hope, and like he's just not just a coach to me. Like he's been there through me. Like even if it's not for football, and like he been my coach since I first started playing football.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he's been there no matter what. I can call him on.
Yeah, and Coach Patrick Hope is also the junior varsity head football coach. They're in action tomorrow night, Thursday. They'll be home against Scotland as they too try to finish the season actually undefeated as they're 9-0, but looking to win the SAC conference title as well. Well, Malik, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. And folks, again, if you've got nothing to do on Friday night, please head down to Laurinburg. The Raiders are in action as they look to keep that Raider magic alive and finish the season with their 8th win and their first over Scotland in the last 6 years. We've got a lot more news headed your way after the break, so stay tuned to Live at 5.
Welcome back to Live at 5. Today's 3-day weather forecast is brought to you by Family Pharmacy. As you see from our office cam, the temperatures are going back up, which is strange, but something we're going to have to deal with. But other than that, let's go on to your 3-day weather forecast. Thursday will high 77 with intervals of clouds and the sun, and a low of 54 at clear skies that evening. Friday will high 81. You can see where it's getting hot there. Sunny, and a low of 56, clear skies as well. Saturday will high 76 with partly cloudy skies and a low of 53. Other than that, we have this week's edition of Richmond Observer's exclusive local business spotlight column. Contributor Cleve Baxley meets with Colleen Parsons, the owner of the Embroidery Corner. To read more about the Embroidery Corner, read the full story on richmondobserver.com. And I'll meet you back at the news desk, Lance. And that's a wrap for tonight's episode of Live at 5. And if you weren't here for the Spooktacular yesterday, it went really well.
It was.
It really did.
It was a
you
lot
were
of fun.
night, Sarah was day.
That's right. That was a lot of fun. And she made the costume.
Oh, yeah. I watched her make it.
I actually took that costume and went out to eat with it on.
Oh, that's always fun. I went around town with the slashes on my face, the
Yeah.
werewolf attack. I just went around town like that.
Well, I had a few men that kind of wondered why I was wearing a black shirt with stars on it, I'm sure. But nonetheless, I was proud of the costume my wife made for me.
Right.
So.
It's always good. I mean,
It was Halloween.
At least it wasn't pink.
Well, folks, happy November. It's November 1st. And, of course, we're on the march to Thanksgiving now. Some of you are already ready for Christmas. But nonetheless, we have a job to do here every night. So we won't be focusing on the holidays just yet. We'll be focusing on bringing the news to you every night to the Richmond County people, the news they deserve.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, join us tomorrow night for another edition of Live at 5. And remember, you can always watch Live at 5 on demand on the RO app for iPhone and Android devices. God bless, and we will see you tomorrow night for another edition of Live at 5. So long.